Episode 3, Two She's in a Pod. I'm Holly.
I'm Jazz.
And we are the two she's in one pod. Today, we're talking about love. We're starting on the surface level of love because we have so much to talk about when it comes to love. And this is exactly why I wanted to start it off with a very vulnerable story of mine when I was once in love. So this is a piece that I wrote that I am so passionate about because it explains so much of how I was feeling at the time. Here we go. So, May 12th, 2024. I was constantly worried about what he thought. In the end, I never took a minute to ask myself what I thought. The entire relationship, all I ever did was put his feelings first without taking into account that I have a heart of my own. I would need an alarming amount of fingers if I wanted to count the amount of times I forgave him, yet I never forgave myself. I'm finally putting my foot down. We are in a seemingly never-ending cycle. Right when my wound is just about to stop bleeding, he comes in and scrapes it ever so gently. While I would look into his eyes with devotion, he was looking down at my wound, making sure that his gentle scrape was deep enough to empty me dry once again. As soon as his cup was filled, there would be a fleeting gust of dry, frigid air that would overtake my room. The door would slam, and he was gone, once again. This time, when he came, but this time it was 3 days. That's all he needed from me. He knew how empty my cup was at that point. There was next to nothing left, so he took me all and he left me with the shell of my cup. Tonight, I sat in the dark, alone, in my cold linen duvet, disassociating at a reflection that stood mightily in front of me, a girl I didn't know. I looked down. My leg is wet. Shit. He did it again. And there it is, my wound, as open as the 7-Eleven down the street that I habitually made my 3 a.m. drive to every time I willingly got cut open by the man I once called home. It was like a reward for my incapacity to hold self-respect. Tonight, I walked in, and the slender-built, 50-ish-year-old, clean-cut brown man smiled at me with such pride. I reciprocated the smile, but mine lacked the hopeful eyes of his. Instead, my eyes were barely visible from crying the last of my tears. My self-tan melted down my face like chocolate fondue, and my lips quivered like laundry on a clothesline on a windy day. "Late night Slurpee again, my lady?" he said. And that's when it all hit me. The LED light bulb finally went off. I've had ordinary light bulbs go off, but those are easy to look past. This light bulb gave my pupils no chance, a shock that lit me up in the night sky like a thunderstorm. He knows me, I thought to myself. I have let this man hurt me enough that I have become a 7-Eleven regular where the night shift worker knows my fucking order. Funny enough, that's all it took. I never went back to the one that I once called home. Turns out he was never home. He was only a temporary rental suite with a nightmare of a landlord that lived upstairs. August 19th, 2025. A year later. Tonight, I had a shower while singing Talking Body by Tupelo. I left my phone in my room because I had no obligations, and so I took my time. I exfoliated my entire body, and I shaved every inch that I could reach. I stepped out, moisturized my curves, applied a thick layer of self-tan, put on some comfy clothes, and thought, wow, a Slurpee would be really good right now. So I did just that. Hi, Holly, how are you? Great, now that I'm here. Thanks for asking. How are you? Good, thank you. No dry tears tonight? Nope, unless you break my heart, I said. Not possible. The Slurpee machine is up and running. No breaking Holly's heart tonight, he said. I giggled as I trotted over to the luminous display that sat on the back counter, grabbed my turquoise-colored Slurpee cup, and filled the cup as full as it could get, the amount that I deserved all along. Who knew getting a Slurpee for myself, for no other reason than wanting a goddamn Slurpee, was so liberating? I now fill my own cup, never leaving any room for a second straw. I had to learn that lesson the hard way. It's so on the surface, but it's so deep. Like, me and Jazz were talking about it yesterday too. And something I gotta put out there, I fucking love Slurpees. I eat it up. I love Slurpees. Like, they're like half my personality, especially when I'm going through a tough time.
Yeah.
So I think that the story, like, to her and I, like, it just hits deep because it shows so much. Like, the liberation of getting a Slurpee for myself and no one else. That just proved how far I've come. And it sounds so dumb to some people, I think. But at the same time, for me, getting a Slurpee for myself and no other reason, it was liberating at the time. And that's why I love this story, because it's a full circle moment of everything that I was feeling. So to go off of that, Jazz and I, like I said, we've had so many conversations about love. And I want every person to hear every single second of every single story, conversation, quote that we've talked about. But to start the series off, I really want Jazz's perspective. So Jazz, what is love to you?
First,
She's crying though.
The story just hits different, and I have heard that story. I have read that story so many times, but it just moves me to tears because it's so honest, and because I know you through and through, and I know what that Slurpee means and how liberating it must be to be able to differentiate and detach that feeling of heartbreak from that Slurpee. It's just not about the Slurpee, and I really hope people are able to understand what you're trying to convey over here, because wow, it's a beautiful story, and every single time I hear it, it heals a part of me, and it reminds me how good of a writer you are.
Stop.
No, I love your writing, and I think, wow, it's beautiful. It always moves me to tears. But yeah, talking about love. Love has been the center, front and center of our conversations for as long as we have known each other. We have talked about love until 4 a.m. or 5 a.m. in the morning. And every single time we have talked about love, we have believed more and more into it. Every single time we have talked about love, it has moved through us, and it has brought us closer together. The one thing that Holly and I connect on is love, just the general feeling of love. And I think the one thing that we both can agree on is, as much as our whole being, it revolves around love, we do not understand love fully, do we? Never. We do not understand what love is and how it can make you do things and how it can change you for better and for worse. It depends. Because I know, oh my God, we are crazy about love. We love love from the very beginning. And I'm just so grateful that we are able to talk about it. And I think there would be so many episodes we would be talking about love, because there is just so much that we can talk about. But the one thing that I know about love right now, what love is for me, I just think love cannot exist as a single entity. I think love cannot just exist as it is, on its own. The one thing that I think about when I think about love is fear. We all want to love and we all want to be loved, but we are all scared. That is one of the biggest emotions that I feel when I think of love. And I try my best to show up for love despite of the fear. And I think it is hard. But I don't think so. For me, love can just exist on its own. At least right now, I think that it exists with other emotions. at the root of every emotion, there is love. If there is grief, if there is anger, if there is sadness, if you go down to the root of it, it started from love. And then it changed as we started manifesting it physically, as we started acting on it, it changed into other emotions. But at the root of it, it started as love.
I think that's beautiful that you say that too, because we've also had conversations about how as soon as you get your heart broken or you break someone else's heart, your heart is still broken. But the value of not living through that heartbreak, not letting that heartbreak control the rest of your life.
Yes. Do you think when you went through your heartbreak, did it turn you better for a little bit? Did it? Like, what was your feeling? I want to know what went through you after you were heartbroken.
I did not let the feelings pass through me. I really tried to fight them.
What was the feeling when you were heartbroken? Because nobody really knows. What was the heartbreak? How were you heartbroken? How did love affected you?
I think the biggest part of my heartbreak was, yes, he hurt me, but he acted as if he was someone that I didn't know. I felt as if I didn't know him fully because of the way that he treated me at the end, because of the things that he did at the end. And I think that was the biggest heartbreak, was me trying to live through the heartbreak, but also questioning every single thing that he did when he loved me, quote unquote, because who are you? I would have never thought that he would have done what he did. That was the biggest heartbreak. It was grieving someone that I thought I knew.
Wow. So the heartbreak, it not only made you question that what you're going to do or what you're going to have after you guys separate, it also made you question what you guys had all along.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think that was the hardest part about it.
Did you feel betrayed? Did you feel disappointed? Of course, you felt heartbroken. But at the same time, how many years were you guys together for again? Remind me.
I would say upwards of 4.
So you questioned 4 years of togetherness, whatever you guys... So did you question the intentions that...
You know, that I feel that was also the hardest part, was that I'm an empath. I can feel everything someone else feels. I can feel everything else someone goes through, even if I haven't gone through it myself. And I found that the hardest part of grieving someone that I thought I once knew, because I know that I knew him. I know I knew him through and through. But yet I had to now go through his emotions and put a finger on why he chose to do those things. And yet I never blamed myself. I was fully judgment-free to myself. I never blamed myself for what he did. But it was so hard being able to notice why he did the things, because of his emotions and his trauma and his childhood. So yes, I was able to move through that, but you still question it. I'm human. You go through the same emotions that everyone else goes through. Like, even if I'm not judging myself, there's still a part of me that felt anger. There's still a part of me that felt judgment to myself, or did I do this wrong? Did I do that wrong? Why did he do this to me? You know, you always come back to yourself in some way or another.
I'm just trying to understand over here that, wow. Because I know that you're very good at reading people as well, right? And the one thing that I have struggled my whole life is when I can see through people, when I can read them, when I know the intention behind their actions, when I know that someone is coming from a place of hurt rather than a place of malice. If it's not malicious and I know that they're just hurting inside, that's where they're hurting me, it is very hard for me to step back from that. And the one thing that I read recently, that it's so easy seeing through people, but it does not make any fucking difference. And being an empath, being someone who is able to see through people, especially when you love them, it's just so hard to separate yourself, to separate your existence, and separate your emotion, and to honor what you are feeling, because what you want to do is you always want to take care of them. You always want to justify the actions. You always want to justify the way they're treating you, the way they're doing things. But at the end of the day, you have to realize that they're responsible for their actions, even if they went through the life they went through, because it is not your responsibility to make them a better person. It is their own responsibility to make themselves better. Yes, if they want to do it for you, that's love, I think, when we want to be better for other people. But I think that's their own responsibility, and sometimes we just make it, because we both are the same. It's either in or out, and when we are in for a ride, and we try our best. I think that's one thing. We put the other person before our own selves, and that's why it breaks my heart, because I know that you tried. I know that you held on for longer than you should have.
Number one, the funniest part about that story is I went back to him. I'm going to be very vulnerable right now. I went back to him after I wrote this, because the love never goes away, but I still had hope in something that was long gone. And I think that that's what's so beautiful about love. And I do not regret going back for a 556th time, because after this story, I stopped for a year and a half, and then I went back to him again just this past year. And although he proved to me that he loved me as much as I always believed that he loved me, he also proved to me that he still has things he needs to work on and things he needs to admit to himself.
Yes.
And that was the reason that I went back, because after that, I realized that it's okay to never get over someone that you truly loved. And it's not going to happen either.
I think that would be injustice to the love, to ask to erase everything. Because I think I would have it all, the heartbreak, the yearning, the ache, because then I can have the good parts as well, because it was not entirely bad. And I know that. We have talked about this at length over and over again, and there is always something that we get to know. And there is always something that we are able to discover by revisiting the story. Every single time we talk about it, we are revisiting the same chapter, and there is something new that we are able to discover. Not only that person, but our own selves. Why we did the things that we did at that time. Why we acted the way we acted. And I think the one thing that I get every single time when I hear your story is that you guys were just two kids who were in love. And that breaks my heart, but at the same time, I'm so grateful that you were able to experience such love at such a young age. There was so much naivety, so much innocence. And whenever I have looked at the pictures, I just know you guys are in love. You know? And it makes me happy.
And You've told me multiple times about the quote about people that come into your lives.
Yes, it's so beautiful. I don't believe in coincidences, and I feel like when two people meet each other, they're in the dire need of each other. So if you're crossing paths with someone and you're in love, the whole universe conspired for you guys to meet, for you two to meet. The whole universe made that happen. And there must be something that you need to experience through that person. I think love just makes you a better person if you know how to hold it, if you know how to let it pass through you. If we know how to put distance, if we know how to put boundaries, love always makes you a better person. You don't have to be entirely perfect to be in love.
You don't have to be perfect at all.
Yes.
It's just being able to look inward, I think. Too.
Yes, I think you just have to be honest. You have to be honest about the way you feel about things, the way you feel about them. You have to tell them about the fears. I think it all comes down to how you face your fears when it comes to love. I think fear and love, they coexist. And I don't think so that love ceases to exist in the presence of fear. I think love is always there. With the presence of fear, the action ceases to exist sometimes. We are not able to act for our love. We are not able to show up for our love. I don't think so that it's the lack of love. I think it's the lack of actions that sometimes relationships, they fall apart. Because to be able to be with someone, we need to act. It's important to be able to show up for them. For even our friendship, we love each other so much. Oh, she's my wife. Halls, you make my heart flutter. I'm not even kidding. And I was actually thinking about this today again. Because I'm like, whoever would be the man who would be coming into her life, I would...
Don't make me laugh.
I would be actually telling them. I would be looking them dead in the eye. And I would make one thing clear. That, you know what? It's actually impossible for you to love her as much as I do.
It's true.
Because, yes, okay, you can love her. I know that you would be, because she deserves the world. But at the same time, I feel honored to be in her presence. So, I don't think so. I don't think so you can compete with me. There is no competition here. So, shoo shoo.
Shoo shoo, she said. Oh, I love that.
We do not just want to fixate, or we just do not want to talk about romantic relationships, because I think this podcast started because of the love that exists between me and Halls. It was not about anything else. It was just about the friendship that we have. It is about what we carry. And that's why this started.
You know, I've been envious of relationships before. But I have never been envious of friendship after meeting Jazz. Because I know that what we have is stronger than any platonic relationship I know ever to exist. Social media, other people around me, any stories I've listened to, Jazz loves. But the beautiful part about our friendship is I love too. You know, like, and we accept each other for who we are. You know, there's times where I've been 60-40 and there's been times where Jazz is 90 and I'm 10. But we love. And that's just how it is. And as soon as she said, let's live together, I was scared, and I put forefront that I did not want to live with friends, because every single time that I've seen someone live with friends, or even just other women, it just has gone downhill. Mm-hmm. Because no one can communicate and no one can be honest these days. But ever since getting to know Jazz, and the way that she shows me how much she loves me is amazing. She has taught me how to love in non-platonic relationships because of how much she's loved me in a platonic relationship. And I think it's so beautiful. And I genuinely hope that everyone can experience something even somewhere close, something even near what Jazz can give me and has been giving me. Because, wow. No, it's actually insane. I could talk about this for hours, days on end. This girl can love, and she has taught me so much about love. And the second thing that I was going to say before when I was talking about my ex relationship is to be even more vulnerable. I'm seeing a new person now. We're not going to use pronouns. I'm seeing a new man now.
We like him.
Yeah, he's a good man. He's a really good man. So we had a conversation today about this. And when Jazz was saying that fear interlocks with love, that was our conversation this morning.
Oh, yes, we talked about that.
We talked about this morning.
Oh, my God, yes. First, I wanted to say that, love can heal you. It can make you a better person. Even witnessing love. And the reason that I'm saying this is because, he is even healing a part of me. Just me being able to witness it, the way he treats you, it just makes my heart grow. That, wow. I think even witnessing love is so beautiful. Just witnessing it without envy, without questions, just witnessing it, just being in awe. Mm-hmm. And right now I feel like I'm in awe. I'm in awe of her. Like, she's a great, great human being. And being able to just see Holly grow and do things, I think I just love. You will be able to, like, as we proceed, you will see more of her personality, and it's just wonder. It's beautiful to be able to witness that. And I think I get to learn how to live more through you and how just to be your own self. And when a person like you falls in love, I think the whole universe watches.
Oh, that's making me emotional.
No, I think I'm honored. When I use the word honor, I think I'm honored to be able to witness this girl. And that's why I think we are so blessed to be able to be in each other's life. And I don't know how we found each other, but oh my God, I don't think so. I would have been able to do without her. I don't think so. You were the person who made me believe that I can do it with someone else. I can share my purpose. I can share my goal, because you make it seem so easy.
Because it is with someone so talented like you.
Yes, but it's so much about you, Halls. It's just, you're amazing. But coming
now we're
back,
getting fucking sappy and non-platonic. I could kiss you.
Well, we do that all the time. I just wanted to come back to the point where you were talking about being scared. And as we were talking about it, and I was talking to Holly about this as well, that whenever you are scared, because I think now with how fast the life is moving and how people have so much to say about relationships, there are so many advices that you can find on social media, that how your girlfriend or boyfriend should treat you. This is what they should do. This is what they should not do. This is red flag. This is green flag. There's just so much out there that I think we have actually forgotten how we actually feel about things, because we are doing everything for the sake of social media, or we want to tell our friends, this is what my person is doing for me, that we actually forget to be grateful for the love that we are experiencing. And we always are trying to fit these boxes. And I think, again, it is violence. It is so unfair to put your person into a box. I think it is injustice. It is not just at all to expect that your person has to stay same throughout the years that you are with them. I think one of the things that I have learned being in a friendship or relationship is giving the other person the space to grow and change. Love does not demand similarity. We do not have to be the same person that we were when we came into a friendship or relationship. What it demands is consistency. We have to be consistent. And I think that is one thing that has to be learned. And I think I hear this a lot from so many people that, oh, my person is not the same. And I'm like,
I hope not.
I hope not. They are not the same. They are not the same person I fell in love with. And I'm like, wow. You fell in love with an idea then. Because if you think about it, we would never know a person to a full extent, even if they're not changing. So now you have to factor in the fact that we are changing continuously. I think I still don't know Holly to the full extent. And I think over the years, she's gonna evolve and she's gonna grow exponentially. And if I expect her to be the same person 10 years from now, I do not deserve to be in her life because I'm restricting her growth. So I think that is one thing that has to be learned in relationships or friendships, that let the other person be a different person. Do not expect them to be the same. So do you think over the years when you were with your person, when you said that, because that was the one thing that came into my mind, that when you said that they're not the same person, or I felt that I never knew you, was it growth or was it the intentions that changed? What do you think? I'm just curious.
I genuinely think that it was the way that I felt about myself changed. So I thought that he was the one that was changing, but it was me.
You know what, Halls? Wow.
I grew insecure throughout the relationship, and it affected our relationship. So that's when I see our relationship as being such a learning curve, because I saw it as a choice. I could blame it all on him and point fingers at him, or I could look inward.
Wow.
And I really think, not that I'm putting blame on myself, but I was the one that was changing.
See? Wow. So you look at, see, I also think that things, wow. You know what? I was not actually expecting that answer at all. Wow. Wow. Yes, because yes, the growth was so different. But wow. You know what, Halls? Actually, that makes me really proud.
Oh, I love you.
Yes.
But it's so true. Like, that's, as soon as I started to see growth within myself, it was number one when I realized that it's okay to always be in love with the person. Mm-hmm. But to get over the fact that they're not going to be in your life anymore. Mm-hmm. And number two was seeing how I affected his growth and where I came into play when affecting him growing. Whether that was him struggling with the way that he saw himself, maybe I played a factor in that.
I think there's still healing that has to be done. Do you think?
For sure.
Right?
Yeah, no doubt about it. On both ends.
Yeah. Because that is why if you are seeing someone else, the fear that comes, I think it comes from the last one, right? Because there's a pattern that you're trying to break, aren't you?
I think that that's the hardest part about this, is I've never liked someone as much as I've liked today since my ex. Whatever's meant to be is meant to be. Like, it's come to me for a reason. Mm-hmm. But that is exactly when I woke up today, mm-hmm. and Jazz and I had a conversation about it. She could see the fear in my eyes. And although it isn't anxiety, because there's a difference, that's the one thing that Jazz kept saying to me this morning is, as soon as you're not happy or you have anxiety or it's controlling your life, it's not meant for you. But if you're scared you have to learn how to separate those two.
Yes.
Because I'm scared. It's scary.
It is scary. It is also unfamiliar, because the last time you were in love, it was just different. It felt different. And because there was a toxicity that was attached to it, there was underneath everything, there was a clinginess. And you're trying to unlearn that, and you're trying to relearn how it should feel differently. And because it is so unfamiliar, it feels different.
That was one of my biggest fears. Growing with a new person.
Yes.
Because it's going to be so incredibly different than my first.
I just think that if you're scared to do something, that is all the reason to do it. If you're scared, especially with love, I think, what kind of life are we living if we are taking ourselves away from love just because we are scared to be broken? I think I would split myself into pieces over and over again if I can experience love, if I can go through the feeling of love, because I think it is so much worth it. Because every single time I feel loved and I have been able to love someone, it makes me whole. It makes me a better person. I think love makes me a better person, all in all.
And so does heartbreak.
Yeah.
I see it as going to the gym. Every time you go to the gym, your muscles tear. But what do? They grow back stronger. Same as my little heart. Every time I have a heartbreak or something happens to do with love, even when it comes to my best friend humbling me, it breaks a little, but it grows back stronger. And I think that's the beautiful part about it, is just learning lessons and moving on with your life knowing that you're going to do better. People come to you when you're in dire need of them. So I'm accepting it with open palms.
Open palms. That's
I'm
how we
not
hold.
squeezing this bitch.
Open palms. When something comes in your life, let it. When something leaves, let it. Sometimes I think being with someone is not the only way to love them. Sometimes loving someone means walking away from them. And it is so important. And we cannot save people. That is one thing that I'm learning, actually. We cannot save people. You can support them. We can support people, but we cannot save people.
I think both of us have experienced losing ourselves while trying to save someone else.
We have.
Not completely losing yourself. At least, I completely lost myself. But Jazz, she didn't completely lose herself. But it's the love that caused us to treat ourselves differently in the act of trying to save someone else.
Yes. And the one thing that I have been learning, does that make me scared? Yes, it does. It does. Like, I don't want to say that, I am a big lover who just keeps loving. And I think every single time my heart breaks, it does not make me better. It makes me better. But it does not come right away. First, after a heartbreak, I think I'm angry. I'm full of resentment. And I'm trying to make sense of everything, right? When you're heartbroken, you're lost. I just feel lost at that time. I just try to make sense of everything. I am not the kind of person who thinks that, why did that happen to me? But I ask, why did that happen? Not to me, but for the fact that, now what do I have to learn over here? And I think every single time my heart is broken, I feel lost. Because it anchored me. The relationship or the friendship, in some sort of way, it anchored me. It balanced me. And when that love goes away, in the absence of it, you feel wiggly. You try to find yourself again. You try to anchor yourself again. You try to anchor yourself through yourself. And I think that is what we are learning, who we are, just with the love that we carry for ourselves. And I think with that Slurpee story, with the story that we started with, You became your own anchor. You anchored yourself. And I think that is the beauty of it.
Yeah, for sure. Like, although in that story I came back to myself. And I came back to love myself. And I anchored myself. I love that I went back to him. Mm-hmm. Because it just proves that although you can learn these lessons and you can tell yourself everything that you want to tell yourself, there are still lessons to be learned. I was convincing myself these things. And yes, I could have been over him, but there was still a lesson to be learned. That door was still open.
Yes.
And I felt the need to go back to close it. And I do not regret it one bit because it taught me even more about myself. That story, if I were to end it once again for a second time, it'd be fire. I just know it. It'd be really good.
I also think that, we talk about love so much. We take each other's advice, but at the end of the day, we follow our intuition. That is Holly and I. That's who we are. That we will listen to each other hard. But at the same time, Holly and I, we trust our gut. We know that there is something that has to be solved or resolved. And I think that's what Holly felt at that moment. No matter what other people were saying or telling, because that's what I love about you. You put your foot down. You know that this is what I need, and I do not care what other people are thinking. I don't care what they're going to say. Right now, I think this is what I need, and I'm going to go for it. And the thing that I absolutely love is, after it's done, even if you're heartbroken, you walk with it. You walk with it. You walk with your decision, the decision that you made. And I think that is the beauty of it. And that is the courage that you need, because you do not feel sorry about it. Even now, when you're talking about it, you're not talking it from a place where you're acting or you feel like a victim that, I went again and this is what happened. No. You are talking about it with so much grace.
And that's just the other thing too, is like, it never got easier.
Oh my God.
It never got easier. Even the last time that I left him, the love is still there. And that is why I went back, to realize that the love stays there. It's just you.
Yes.
That has to go about that.
Yes. The love will always be there. And I think that is one thing that sometimes we get wrong, that we have to completely forget that person to be able to move on from them. I think all we have to do is make peace with what happened. Mm-hmm. All we have to do is find peace in the pieces.
Find peace in the pieces.
Right?
I like that.
Yeah. I think that is what we have to learn. And I think at one point we have to stop being angry. That anger has to turn into something. That anger has to turn back into love. Because that's where it started. It has to go back to the roots. It has to go back to love. The anger, the resentment, the yearning, it has to go back to its original form, which is love. And I think that is what we have to learn. We cannot swear off of love. Love is just too beautiful. It is worth every fucking inconvenience. Just show up. Let love in. Let love in. Let love in. Do not be scared of it. And even if you're scared, still show up despite of it. Show up.
Yeah, and I think to close our conversation, the last thing that I wanted to talk about was the realization that I had when leaving my ex for the last time. I would say the one thing that I realized that influenced my life to the max, which made me realize all of the other things that I needed to realize, was that in order to forgive him, I needed to forgive myself. But I didn't realize this. It took so much convincing, and I've talked about this before in this episode, but so much convincing of myself. I convinced myself, yeah, I'm over him. Yes, I forgave him. Blah, blah, blah. Never said a single negative thing about him other than the fact. And I convinced myself that I forgave him, and then I moved on. But what I lacked was the forgiveness within myself. And that's what made all of the difference. So if I were to say that this episode has a lesson to be learned, it's that in order to forgive another person, if you've convinced yourself that you have forgiven another person, look inward. Have you forgiven yourself? Even if you think that you have done nothing wrong in that situation, in that particular relationship, look inward. Have you forgiven yourself? Because although I didn't think I did anything wrong at that point in time, after I forgave myself, I realized all of the things that I had done wrong. And I think it was so incredibly important for my own growth. Because after I had a judgment-free zone within my brain, everything was a playing field. Everything turned around.
Wow.
I learned so much more about myself. I learned so much more about love, and I finally, for the first time in so long, felt peace with the love that I endured with that man. And I think that that was so special.
That is such a beautiful reminder. Thanks, Halls. Thank you. Yeah, show yourself grace as well while you're showing grace to everyone else or the people around you. Show yourself some kindness. And yeah, be close to your own self. Be honest to yourself, because before you are being honest to your partner or your friend, you have to have the courage to accept it to your own self. And it is hard. Mm-hmm. It is hard to look at your own self because it's usually the child in you who is wounded and who is hurt. And you have to face that child. And it is not easy. And I think, wow, because you forgave the child. Mm-hmm. That's beautiful. Thank you, actually. Wow. Yeah. Forgive yourself, you guys. That's actually beautiful, Halls. Thank you.
Small or big, forgive yourself. It goes so far.
It goes
farther
so
than
far.
You could ever imagine, I promise. This is the end of episode 3. Don't settle for scraps, whether that's yourself and the way that you talk to yourself or other people and how they treat you. Don't settle for scraps.
Yes.
You deserve more than that. This is Two She's in a Pod. I'm Holly.
I'm Jazz.
We love each other, and we also love you. So thank you so much for listening.
See you next episode.